So you can take any 2 by 2 matrix, then this is an annihilating polynomial. We will see some more general method to calculate such more polynomials. Okay. So now let's prove another lemma, okay, which is going to be enough to reduce our main contention in this section, that every matrix has some eigenvalue. So say A is a n by n matrix and P is annihilating polynomial of A. P annihilates A. That is, P of A is 0. Okay? Then, here is the interesting thing. Then some root, okay, of the polynomial P of X is eigenvalue of matrix of A. Okay? So if A is a matrix, we know that for every matrix you can find an annihilating polynomial of degree up to n square. Okay? Then if you have a matrix and an annihilating polynomial, then at least one root of this annihilating polynomial is going to be the eigenvalue of the matrix A. So this is going to show that, you know, A has an eigenvalue. Why? Because previous lemma told you that every matrix, every square matrix has an annihilating polynomial, and this lemma telling you that in that annihilating polynomial there must be at least one eigenvalue. So therefore we deduce that A must have at least one eigenvalue actually. Okay? So every matrix A has an eigenvalue. So here is really the proof of it. Okay? So suppose that you have a polynomial. So suppose that the polynomial that annihilates the matrix A is this actually. So the P of X equal to say C0 plus C1x plus so on and so forth, Ck and x power k. Okay? Such that the P of A is 0. Now this is a k degree polynomial that has a degree less than or equal to, what do you call, A. Okay, that has a less than or equal to, what do you call, n square. So the k can be a polynomial of degree up to n square actually. Okay. Now, so and we know from the fundamental theorem of algebra, we also know that this polynomial must have at least what do you call, k roots. So if x are complex, then it has exactly k roots actually. So there are k roots. Okay, so the fundamental theorem of algebra, since you are so these x can also be complex numbers, and you know complex field is a complete field. So in this x, there must be exactly n values, okay, exactly k values that satisfy this polynomial actually. And if this is the case, you can actually factorize this polynomial. I can factorize this polynomial. I can write this polynomial as Ck times x minus lambda 1, x minus lambda 2 up to x minus lambda k. Okay? X minus lambda k. So since this has k roots, so we must be able to, what do you call, factorize it. Are you getting the point? We're getting. Imagine, so you have to keep in view that this is a complex polynomial actually, and you're gonna find the complex roots. So there are exactly k complex roots of it. So if this is the case, and I know that P of A is 0. Okay? And I know that P of J is 0. So if P of A is 0, what does this shows? That Ck times A minus lambda 1 I up to A minus lambda n I, this product is equal to, what do you call, 0. And now if the product of these vectors is 0, and I know about P of A that this is not invertible, this is 0 and P of A is not invertible, then at least one of these factors is 0 and not invertible actually. Okay? P of A is not invertible. So at least one of these factors is not invertible. So what does this show? Okay. So the P of A is 0. Let me say that since P of A equal to 0 is not invertible, okay, this is not invertible. You can't invert the 0 matrix actually. So this is not invertible. And P of A is the product of these matrices, then at least one of them is not invertible. Because if all of them are invertible, then this product is invertible. And if this product is invertible, then P of A is invertible. And if the P of A is invertible, 0 matrix is invertible, and that will be a miracle. Okay? We can't invert the 0 matrix actually. You can't find a matrix with, when you multiply it with the 0 matrix, you get the identity matrix. You can't have it. So 0 is not invertible, therefore P of A is not invertible, and if P of A is not invertible, at least one of these factors is not invertible. They all can't be invertible. So say A minus say lambda Ji is not invertible. Then the first theorem that we proved, the characterization theorem of the lambda being the eigenvalue, we saw that lambda is the eigenvalue of the matrix A if A minus lambda I is not invertible. So this means lambda J is eigenvalue of what do you call matrix A, and this completes the proof. Okay, so we had an interesting result. We said that if you have a matrix A, then this implies that you can find a matrix P of A for which P of A is 0, and this result tells you that if this is the case, then A has an eigenvalue. And this is true for any square matrix. So that means that any square matrix has an eigenvalue, and this kind of proves our first contention actually.